Take a look at all the sea dragons. This is pretty cool. So after I exchanged emails with the Transcience LLC company, the makers of sea monkeys, they sent me a replacement package within a week. So this is the replacement setup for my sea monkey tank. And so what they sent was, inside here, a thank you card. Thank you for your order. We appreciate your business and your enthusiasm for the original sea monkeys. Wishing you all things good, the Transcience team. So it's like a generic card. They also gave me a sticker. I created Instant Life Sea Monkeys, so that remains to be seen with this particular one. But yeah, here are the two replacement packets. The number 1 packet, the water purifier, and the number 2 packet, the instant live eggs. So yeah, Aqua Dragons includes like this 1 and 2 kind of like combined into one packet. And I think that's a lot more convenient for people to deal with than to have these 2 separate packets like this. I'm not sure exactly why they have this thing always separated like this. I guess it's to get people to like do something more so that they feel like there's something more happening with their sea monkey kits. So yeah, I guess it gives people a sense of purpose to do more things than a simple procedure. So let's try this, and we're going to try to grow these things again, and hopefully they'll come to life this time. Okay, this time what we're going to do is I've got this very small OXO Good Grips 1 cup angled measurement cup. And right here, as you see, I filled it up with almost completely full of water. And that's about the amount of water that is needed to fill this tank to this tank line. So here's the magic castle right here that we're going to fill eventually with this purified water. So we're going to take this packet, the number 1 packet out, and we are going to open it up and empty its contents into here. Like so. So this is room temperature bottled water. It's Deer Park water. And we're going to stir up this powder granules into the water. And we're using a chopstick. So you can use anything. You can use any kind of stick to stir it up. And the whole goal is to let this dissolve for a number of hours before we pour this into the Magic Castle tank. So I'm trying to just swirl it around and around until the granules get dissolved. And I think that's a good strategy here. Because previously, I poured water directly into the tank, and then I tried pouring the granules of the packet 1 into here, and then I tried stirring the water with the chopstick, and it was very difficult to get around this castle structure inside the tank. So I don't think the granules got dissolved as well as I would have liked. It would have been better if there was a way to perhaps close the tank and maybe shake up all of that stuff so that everything would be dissolved well. But look, I've stirred it up and it seems to have dissolved very, very well here. Now, I did not see any granules in the water the first time around, so I presume and assume that the granules will just get absorbed into the water anyway without the stirring motion. But I tried as best I could to stir the water while the water was inside this tank. But here, I'm doing it outside the tank, and I think this will provide better results. So we set this aside for, I think it says 24 hours. Yes, it does. So you have to wait at least 24 hours, it says in the instruction manual here, before you apply packet 2 into here. So after 24 hours, after this gets all settled, then I will pour the contents of packet 2 directly into this cup right here and stir and dissolve the contents, as it says in the instructions right here. It says that I have to stir thoroughly until the contents have been fully dissolved. So the sea monkeys will hatch in here, and then I will pour this, the contents of this cup, into here. So I might use a funnel for this. I might use it freehand because there is a little spout right here. But the hole is like of a size where it might cause problems when I try to transfer the entire contents of here into here. So I might use a funnel. So there might be like some sea monkeys basically getting lost or dying in the process, but hopefully we'll have like so many sea monkeys in here that it's not going to matter too much. But yeah, mercy to all living things. Our best intentions be with us. Okay, so we'll let this settle for about 24 hours, and then we'll continue the process tomorrow. Okay, now the moment of truth. We're going to open packet number 2, and we're going to pour the contents in, just like so. Here we go. So 24 hours have passed with the water, the purified water, and now we're emptying the contents in, and as you see, so this packet number 2 tints the water into something that's kind of bluish green. And I think that's because, well, as you see, there's some like blue dyes in here. You can kind of see that right here. It's like it colors the water. Something colors the water. So now the step in the process is to stir this until dissolved. So I'm using my magical chopstick, and I want to make sure that all of the granules are dissolved. So last time when we did this, it was in the Magic Castle tank, and the Magic Castle tank has all of those weird nooks and crannies, so we couldn't really get our chopstick to go around certain things, objects inside the Magic Castle tank. But here we have an open cup, a measuring cup, and I'm stirring the contents, and now we have this slightly tinted blue water. Previously we had kind of a greenish water, and I don't have that to show you because I spilled out the contents there. So the company that sold me the sea monkeys, they told me that I should be doing that. I should be spilling out the old water and using new water for these new packets that they sent me. So I think that's a good stir right there. I don't see anything really floating around in there too much now. I think everything is more or less dissolved. Okay, that's good. So, now that we've done this step, we're going to wait, and hopefully these things will hatch. Hopefully we'll see some sea monkeys floating around, just like in the Aqua Dragons tank. So, very, very cool. I don't think you can see them right away right now. Right? I think it's too early of a process to be able to see sea monkeys floating around. So all you see there is like basically undissolved granules. So yeah, we'll just have to wait for this to settle down, and then hopefully we'll see actual sea monkeys floating around. Now, sea monkeys and aqua dragons are either the same or similar. So I heard from other YouTube video folks that grow sea monkeys that the amount of sea monkeys you get, or sea dragons you get in the Aqua Dragons, is a lot larger than what you would get in the sea monkeys tank. So we're going to find out if that's true. So if anything, we'll need to wait a little while before these can grow to be something visible so that we can see them. So I remember in all of my years of growing sea monkeys, I could generally see them within a day. They'd be very tiny and they'd be floating around there, but I could see them. So I'm not going to, like, I can try to see them right now, and I can think that I can see them, but really that's just floating debris that you see right there. Not debris, but granules of undissolved stuff from packet 2. So I think once the granules like kind of settle down, and this cup of filled liquid becomes clearer, then we will study this for the existence of sea monkeys. So I'm much more hopeful right now of this method that I'm using to prepare the sea monkeys than I was in the previous method where I just poured the water into the tank to begin with. So I think this is hopefully going to be more successful than the previous time that we did this. So see you next time, and we'll see how it goes. So here are our efforts in growing new sea monkeys in this measuring cup. So let's take a closer look. There they are, look at that. There's a couple of little ones up there, yeah. Oh, a few of them, yes. So it started with just one. I saw one initially, and then now there's at least 4. So yeah, there we go. There's one down there, and 3 up there, or at least 3. Oh, more. There's more than... All right, so there's a small handful of them. And I've only focused on this section down here. I think if I were to bring it up here, we might see some more up there. But yeah, I think I'm going to transfer the contents into our magic castle now. So the amount of sea monkeys that are in this measuring cup is nowhere near as large as what we saw in the sea dragons, the aqua dragons. Look at that. There's so many sea monkeys or aqua dragons in there. So just for those of you who don't know, sea monkeys and aqua dragons are like, if not the same, they're very similar. So they're both brine shrimp and Artemis salinus. So yeah, there you go. You get a lot more sea monkey eggs in the aqua dragons than you do in the sea monkey's magic castle. So yeah, at least the initial burst of them, like the initial hatching. I mean, look at that. They're already pretty big now. This is the result of, I think, 2 weeks of growth. So that's pretty cool. And this one here, this is the result of just growth from earlier this week. So yeah, they will continue to grow. And I believe I'm not supposed to put any food in this for a little bit. But here, I put some food in here in the Aqua Dragons tank last week, and it's still like there's a whole bunch there that you see. So I don't have to refill it with new food until the Aqua Dragons eat their food. So some of them do crawl up there or swim up there and feed on the food, but then others are just kind of floating around there and just kind of like playing. So yeah, pretty cool so far. Yeah. So I think if you were to purchase one or the other, I think the Aqua Dragons here, this offers you a better value. You get this tank and you get clear water, and you can see all of the Aqua Dragons in there. With this one here, in this blue water, it's hard to see the sea monkeys. I mean, you can see them if you look up close, and you get a little magnifying glass so that you can see them up close. And so we're going to pour the contents of this into our magic castle, and then we'll see if that helps the situation with viewing the sea monkeys. Okay, we are back, friends, and now we are going to pour the contents of this measuring cup right into the sea monkey's tank, and there's a funnel right here, so let's get to it. Now, in the process of transferring these sea monkeys, there might be like one or two that might not make it. I'm going to try to see if we see anything in there. I don't see anything left in there. Okay, good. So let's just let this settle for a little bit. And let's see if we can see any of our friends in here. Oh, I already see one towards the top. Let me see if I can get a clearer view. Okay, there's a lot of debris floating around, so it's still got to settle. So you have to let it settle. But you can kind of see that there are ones that are kind of floating around and doing their thing. There's actually quite a few. So yeah, in the measuring cup I couldn't see a lot of them, but now I can see a lot of them. So there's a lot more sea monkeys than I had thought there were. That's pretty cool. And by transferring the contents of the measuring cup to the magic castle, I aerated the water as well. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to have to let this kind of settle a little bit, and then hopefully when the water becomes more clear, we'll be able to see more of our friends floating around in this magic castle tank. Very, very cool. Okay, now that the dust has settled, so to speak, now that all the debris has kind of settled towards the bottom of the tank, we can now take a closer look at our sea monkeys tank and see what's going on here. So, do we see a lot of sea monkeys? I think some of them are hiding. Ah, there we go. There are some. You can kind of see them. They're in there. And you have to kind of search for them, because all the nooks and crannies that are in this tank, that castle itself and the rocks in the bottom, like the faux rocks, they're kind of there. And I think a lot of sea monkeys are kind of like attracted to some of these areas. So you might not be able to see them as easily as you could with the Aqua Dragons tank. But yeah, as you see here, there are some floating around, and they might be difficult to see, but yeah, there's a bunch of them right there. So there are some in there. And yeah, if we search hard enough, we'll probably see a lot more. So pretty cool. So yes, we've transferred the contents of our sea monkeys from our measuring cup to the tank, and yeah, and it said, the instructions said that if the water level goes down a little bit too much, like 2 inches below the water line, then to refill it with bottled water. So right now it's about about 3/4 of an inch below the water line. So yeah. So basically when it gets down to about, I think where the castle is, that's like 2 inches below the water line, and then we'll have to refill it with water. I think it's probably a good idea to refill it a little bit prior to that. So yes, there we go. So I think this has been successful. Okay, so now the $1,000,000 question. Which Sea Monkey or Aqua Dragon kit should you get? Should you get the Sea Monkeys in the Magic Castle tank or the Aqua Dragons tank? So, the cost of this, there is a cost difference. So the Sea Monkeys tank cost me $22, and I just checked on Amazon recently, and now it is $28 for the same Magic Tank kit, Magic Castle tank kit. Aqua Dragons, this cost me $11. It's still $11 on Amazon, so I would say that with the amount of Aqua Dragons you get, Aqua Dragon Sea Monkeys being similar, this is the more worth it item. So for this one here, the instructions failed me. So I had to resend for packets 1 and 2 to get this done again because there was something wrong with my egg packets. They would not hatch for whatever reason. And the second time around when they sent me the replacement packets, it worked with no problems. So there was something off about how Amazon perhaps was storing these units here. So I don't know if they were storing them in like too hot or too cold or too humid, or maybe some chemicals got involved or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the mysteries of Amazon like create here. So for whatever reason, my eggs didn't hatch with the Sea Monkeys kit, and I had to get a replacement. And thankfully, the Sea Monkeys company, Transcience LLC, was able to send me the replacement packets within a week. So if you don't want to have to deal with that, I think Aqua Dragons is for you. Now, the negative of this is, look at the tank itself. It is not as cool as the Sea Monkeys tank. The Sea Monkeys tank here, it's got a castle in it, and that's why it's called Sea Monkeys Magic Castle Tank. Whereas this one is more of a generic tank. It looks more like the old style Sea Monkeys tank, which is generic looking like this, but it doesn't even have any colors associated with it. It's all clear. So if you're okay with the no frills, like Acme quality of Sea Monkeys and easier instructions to get you started, I think this is the kit for you. Aqua Dragons is the kit for you. Because all you get, instead of 3 packets where you get a prep packet, eggs, and food, this one includes the prep and the eggs combined into a single packet. And then you also get a food packet as well. So I think this is much easier to deal with than this one. This one, you have to prep the water, wait 24 hours, and then put the eggs in. This one, you simply put the mixture, the first packet, which has the prep powder and the eggs all in one. You just put it in your water, and you just wait for them to hatch. And that's it. I think your kids will enjoy this one a lot more, the Aqua Dragons kit, yes. However, at some point, you might want to get this, right? So look at this nice blue water here, which is like probably dyes. But yeah, maybe chlorine, I don't know. But this gives the illusion that, wow, blue castle, the castle is blue, this base is blue, and the water is blue because of the coloring in the packets. So if you're into that, then I think this might be more fun to have, just because this looks like a nicer kind of like desktop display piece than this one. But really, you get a lot more Sea Monkeys or Aqua Dragons in this kit than you do here. There's a multitude more of Aqua Dragons in here than Sea Monkeys in here. And when they both grow up, they're going to look the same, if not very similar. So I think this is the better value. You can get 2 of these for the price of 1 of these. And yeah, I think this is like you buy one as a gift for yourself and you use the second one as a gift to someone that you love. And yeah, you'll have a lot more fun and excitement with this kit than you will with this kit. So yeah, that's my $1 million question answered. So everybody, if you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.